Alright guys, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be doing a bomb tutorial video. Now I made one for update 4 like a month ago, but this one's for update 4.5 and I changed up the strategy just a little bit. It's mostly similar, but there's a slight difference. So basically for this new method, what you want to do is you want to have either a scythe, a greatsword, or a Basento. Before you would just use regular Rokushiki, and the problem with that one was sometimes people like Rokushiki would get cancelled. So I made a version where that can prevent it, or at least lower the chances of it getting cancelled. So the thing is, the reason why you want to use those three weapons, the scythe, the greatsword, and the Basento, is because all three of these weapons have moves that cannot be cancelled. So the scythe, all of scythe moves cannot be cancelled. Basento has the shockwave slash, I believe that's what it's called, and greatsword has the regular slash. I can't remember what it's called, but all three of them have a move where they can't get cancelled. So what you want to do is you want to do what you used to do before, and wave 6 and up you want to tech eye. Now wave 1 to 5 you can do whatever you want. Like these waves are super easy. These NPCs don't have any special moves. There's no Kurobachi. The sword people do not use 1SS moves, so you can just do whatever you want on the first 5. You do the same thing for the boss waves though. The boss waves, you normal self-destruct like before. You just Gepo once and then self-destruct. You have a lot more health now, so don't worry if you're a little bit lower. Like if you're 200 HP lower, you can still self-destruct. But if you're like 400 HP or 500 HP, like below your max, then I would recommend like waiting for the bosses to spawn and then self-destructing. Like I said, you have so much health, you don't have to worry about getting hit and taking damage when the bosses spawn. So just wait for the bosses spawn if you do not have enough health. So next I want to get into the stats. So the stats I'm running is 775 in health and 300, I don't have it on my screen, but it's like 300 something. I'll put it on the screen. So the reason I have so much health is because obviously I'm going to be using tech eye, and the more health you have, the stronger your tech eye is. And for the sword, you want to be able to kill the NPCs at all waves. The reason I have so much in sword and not more in health is because Basento in particular, it takes this much stat points in order for it to kill all the way up to wave 24. But if you're just using scythe or you're using greatsword, it requires less. If you're just going to use greatsword only needs 376 and scythe only needs 300. So if you're going to use those two, you can lower the amount of sword you have and put it more into health. But if you are going to use Basento and you need the same like 300, I can't remember what it is, I think it's like 386, but you need that same stat points. And the last thing I would recommend before I fast forward the footage and so you guys can analyze it is if you have both weapons, like if you have a Basento or a greatsword, I would recommend switching in between the two, because the problem with Basento and greatsword is sometimes the waves don't have any gunmen and the cooldowns are actually longer than the wave starts, so you're gonna have to wait for your cooldown. So I would recommend, if that happens, I would switch to like a Basento. If you have greatsword out and you're on cooldown, I would switch to Basento, and if you have Basento, switch to greatsword. If you don't have it, that's fine. You can you can Gepo up and use Eternal Flow, or you can Gepo up and use the Basento's sweeping move. But if you have one of those, if you have two of the weapons, then I would recommend switching in between them between waves if you're still on cooldown. Scythe doesn't have this problem. Scythe's cooldown is perfectly fine. It rarely ever is on cooldown when the wave starts, and even if it is, it has like a extra second left, so you don't have to worry about that for Scythe. It's just for greatsword and Basento where the cooldown might be a problem in between waves. Also, Scythe also has a problem where if the 1SS users hit you with their serpent move, I forgot what it's called, the green bubble move, if they hit you while you're using your move, you might go up in the air. Like instead of twirling forward, you might twirl up. It rarely happens, but it does happen. I just wanted to mention that. So it doesn't happen with Basento and greatsword. It does happen sometimes, but it doesn't matter, because the way the greatsword attack works is when you use the move, no matter where you are, as soon as you activate it, even if you get blasted away, the hit will stay there. So you don't have to worry about it for greatsword. It's only for scythe. Another thing I want to mention before I fast forward, I know I was going to fast forward it, but in the wave 20s and up, you can use your self-destruct if you want. You do not have to wait for another boss wave, because you can reset at wave 25. So from wave 21 to wave 24, if you're in any type of trouble at all, just make sure that you can use your self-destruct. At wave 24, I make a mistake actually. I should have just used my self-destruct, but I used my scythe move instead. Like I said, at wave 21 to wave 24, you can use your self-destruct at any point. Also, if you have extra gear, of course, put that on whenever you can. I didn't put any gear on in this video. I made sure to take it off, But with my gear, all my gear on, I have 2000 HP. So just make sure if you have gear, you put it on.
Physicality.
System call. Musicality.